Hello investors and traders, today we'll speak about the Israeli economy and we will make an outlook for this year. So let's start for the main parameters for the main data. I will take it today from Trading Economics from this resource. So let's start from the consumer confidence. We can see that the last here we can see it's negative, so the consumer confidence is not so strong. It was look what we got here. Here it's the pandemic lows, the coronavirus. It was minus 13. Now we saw a bounce. There was a surge here, but now it's still in a negative area. So the consumer confidence, the consumers health is not so strong now. Let's have a look on the business parameters, the business confidence. We can see that here it's also decreasing. By the way, it's decreasing the all last 4 months since now the last figure is 24. It was December of last year. So here it looks similar to the consumer confidence, but now we can find it parameter at the pre-pandemic period. So it's about 20. Actually the same. So now we can see that all the coronavirus and the Israeli economy is passed very well. Let's have a look on the manufacturing PMI. Usually, look, if it's above 50, so the economy feeling itself very good, very strong. If less than 50, so it's not a good sign. So now we can see the last data is 56. By the way, I can say it some tendency here. Sometimes it's 52, 54, sometimes less than 50. Let's have a look on the 5-year period. Yeah, so generally speaking, we just say in the middle is about 50. Yeah, the average about 50. In the coronavirus, it was in one moment 35, but now it's I see this parameter quite strong. Let's move to the monetary policy, to the interest rate. So now we can see the interest rate. The Israeli central bank is hiking the interest rates. We can see it here. It was for a long period, for a long run. It was about zero. Now the last data it is 3.75. So look, actually it's very similar to the US interest rates. What the FANG are doing now, they combating the inflation. Here we can see a very sharp increasement in the interest rates, and I think it's of course because the inflations, all the problems in the war, recessions. So of course it 4%. I think it can be maybe for a few years. Let's check, by the way, the forecast. Here we can see for the money. So we see that yes, the all by the way, it will be the expectation elevated to 4 in the first quarter of this year, and now it will be elevated to 4.25, and then we may see the 4.25 since the end of this year. The deposit interest rate now it's less than 3%. I don't think it's interesting, it's significant, less than 3%. So the inflation is much higher than this 3%. So we can see that for a long run, only maybe 20 years ago, it was significant, about 4%, 6%, but now the deposit interest rate about 2.5%. So in my mind, it's very, very minor. Another important parameter is money supply M2, so it includes all the cash in the economy, in the system, all the balances. So of course, if it's racing, so the stock market and the economy feeling themselves very good and very healthy. But here we can see a slowdown last year, and actually last 4 months is, yeah, it's actually at the same level. For if the M2 is not increasing, the stock market itself and the economy, it's difficult to speak about growth. Previously, we watched that now the Israeli central bank hiking its interest rate. So let's have a look on the inflation. But actually, why he acting like this? So the inflation. Let's have a look here. So it was 3%, 4, 5. So now the inflation is still about 5%. If the inflation 5, the interest rate, the central bank is about less than 4. So actually we now the real interest rate is negative. So it's a problem for the economy. So I hope that in the future, here is the last date is December 22. So I hope to see that the inflation to decline, to slow down, because 5% inflation, telling you the truth, for such a country, it's a very big number. Let's have a look on the labor market. The unemployment rate now about 4%. So actually, it's last few years it was about 4%. We can see that historically the inflation rate last 20 years is decreasing. It was above 10%. Now it's around 10. And also even when it was the corona crisis, it's jumped to 5%, and now for the it's not a huge difference. The minimum monthly wage in Israel now about 5,400 shekels. By the way, in the last few years, it's around 5,000. So historically, we can see that the minimum wage last years it's increasing, but not in a very fast temp. It's around 5,000 shekels. It's about 100 and about 1,500 bucks. So not so just such a huge portion. Also, we can see the population of Israel now. So the population now about 10 million people live in Israel. And let's of course have a look on the forecast for this year. So the currency is expected to stay at the same level, 3.4. The stock market, unfortunately, the expectations and the forecast that it will show a decline. It will be decreasement this year. The government bond stable, and the GDP will of course it will be grow, but very modest grow. It will expected to be less than 1%. The unemployment rate at the same level. The inflation, yeah, the monetary and the fiscal policy, they are fighting the inflation rate. Now it's above 5%, but till the end of this year the inflation rate expected to be less than 3. So it's a good sign. The interest rate is stable above 4. The US interest rate is expected to be about 5%, here about 4. So actually it looks very similar. So generally speaking, the currency very stable. The GDP will grow, but the stock market unfortunately expected to decline this year. The interest rate expected to be about 4%. The interest rate, the inflation also will decline this year. Of course it looks nice, it looks strong, but I'm of course I'm investing in stock market. I like stock investing, equity investing. If the stock market, the projections are such that it won't grow, so I'm not sure it's be the safest haven. But anyway, of course, it's very interesting to check it fundamental macro global economy of this country. So if you like this video, of course, press the like button. I had another video about the US economy a few days ago, so maybe you want me to check some other country, so write down in the comments, and of course I will make a video for you. If it will be few countries, I can make many other videos. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and of course see you on the next time. Bye.